Hello kitties, I'm so happy to see you again. I haven't been posting any videos on this channel for so long, so I'm sorry about that. I missed you so much and I hope you missed me too. And today I wanna show you how to draw an enchanted forest, and this picture I have drawn from my head. And I hope it will not be so difficult for you to draw with me. Yes, that's my first video lesson, so let's get started. For drawing this art we need one paper for watercolors. You may choose any size of paper you wish. Then water for rinse off our brushes. 4 kind of brushes, different size. The size I will write somewhere on the screen. Then we need a kind of watercolor, not glossy and not sticky. Some pearl watercolor for adding a little bit of shine to the leaves. A pencil and eraser, because we will draw a sketch firstly, and then we will color it. And about pearl aquarelle, don't use it for all the picture, use it for some little objects only, such like flowers or leaves. This video recorded on camera and on my mobile phone camera, so I'm sorry about the quality. Let's start our drawing lesson. Firstly, divide your paper on 2 halves. That will help you to draw a girl in the middle. Match the horizontal line. That's where her legs are started. Drawing 2 diagonal lines as the outline of the road. That's very hard to draw using only one hand, because I'm keeping the phone with my left hand and draw with my right hand, and it's a bit difficult. I'm very sorry about the quality. And then we start drawing our girl. I started from legs because for me it seemed easier, and if it is difficult for you, you may start drawing from head. And my advice for you, don't press too strong on the pencil, otherwise it will be very difficult to paint, as well as the watercolor is transparent. Even if you draw with many layers of paint, it will be very difficult to hide. Believe my experience. So you may see the process from another angle. Let's move to the forest. Firstly, draw a trunk and then draw some branches on it, and you will get a tree. You have to draw many trees like that, and then you will get the forest. Switch on your fantasy and try to draw unusual shape of the tree. Use the same way of drawing trees on another side of the picture. Now draw the outline where the leaves must be. And here you may see a recording fail. It's all because my camera started recording after I painted half of the picture. I'm sorry about that, but don't worry. This process you will see from another angle. That's why I'm using 2 cameras for recording. For painting with watercolor, firstly apply some water on the paper with a brush. Then take the light yellow color with the brush and apply it on the wet surface of the paper. Drawing with watercolor is different from the other sorts of paint. Here you always need less paint than water. Let me give you an example. For example, you want to make light effect of watercolor. So you need 2 drops of water and 1 drop of watercolor. But if you need to make your color more contrast, you need to take 2 drops of watercolor and 2 drops of water. And here is the result of the first layer. Apply the paint all over the area, all over the paper, except the girl's silhouette. If you haven't used watercolors before, please pay attention and see the technique of mine. If you have some questions after you watched the video, please write them in the comments below and I will reply. Please don't forget that watercolor needs to take some time to get dry. And when it is already dry, you may apply second layer of paint. For second layer, choose contrast colors, less light and more bright. Apply it not all over the area, not all over the paper, only in some objects like trunk and leaves. This will create smooth gradient from light to dark. This will create nice shadow effect. And our second layer must look like that, and this is the effect of the shadow I told you before. And now we move to our lovely orange color to do the same thing, to show shadows. Apply orange color on the sides of the trees where is less sunlight. If by some accident you applied more paint than you wanted, you can always blur it with the water. Apply watercolor asymmetrically. That will take a nice look to our forest, and it will look more natural and realistic. Don't forget to apply some watercolor on the road where the girl is walking. You may see this nice effect orange color has given to our trees. Now they look more natural and higher. Working on a light and shadow and adding some gradient where it needs. And very important thing I want to remind you, please don't forget to change. Otherwise this water will stain the picture, so I will go and pour a clear one. Adding some shadows on the road, and don't forget to add the shadow behind the girl. I used light brown color. Now I paint the leaves, but not for all of the trees. I paint the leaves on those trees which are behind the girl. This is because we haven't done a texture of our branches yet. I do the same thing that I have done before. I am moving from light to dark. Pay attention on my way of choosing the colors. On the yellow, I draw with the orange. On the orange, I draw with the light brown, and on the light brown, I draw with the dark brown. You may also add some light colors on the dark, but a little bit, don't do too much, it will not look natural. Let's give the texture to our trees and let's draw the trunks for them. The first layer of the trunk must be light brown and then slowly move to darker colors. Apply the second layer only when the first layer is dry. Don't forget about the road. It has some shadows from the trees, so let's add some shadows. I use light brown color and then smoothly I will go to darker one. Adding some shadows near the girl and behind her. And here is the result. While I was sleeping, my picture dried and now I can continue work. So I give texture to the branches and to the trunks. Now I took 2 drops of paint and 2 drops of water. This way will help me to give a nice outline to our trees, but don't forget to blur it, otherwise it will not look natural. I also use this technique when I draw furry art or just fur for animals. It really helps. This is the result we should get, and then draw the texture of the trees from another side, from left side, yeah. The same way I used to make some shadows on the trees. It looks like I'm trying to draw a grass or maybe fur, but yes, I'm using this technique for drawing shadows. This technique gives very nice effect of sun rays. And now, after we finished our branch, we may continue with the leaves. So we will paint in the same way as we were doing in the beginning. On the light yellow I am drawing with the orange, and then on the orange I will draw with the light brown, and on the light brown I will use dark brown color. And here is the time to add some shine with the pearl watercolor. I wanted to say aquarelle. I think there is a word aquarelle in English. I am adding a little bit of this watercolor in some spots, not all over the leaves of the trees, because I would like to get some mystery, some magic here, so a little bit of pearl will be enough. Moreover, now I decided to do colorful explosion. I wish to paint one of the trees in red colors. I am more than sure, like such kind of trees with such kind of color exist on our planet. So for this tree I will use brown, red and purple. And here is the secret I want to share with you. Don't be scared of using unusual colors in art. Possibly you will think like this color will not suit the picture, but You should know, like, you may mix different colors and get nice result. For example, you will mix red and purple and brown and get the color as I got. Don't be afraid of mixing colors, because this gives the natural effect to your picture and the picture becomes alive. You may find very interesting, cool and nice things in something crazy. Just give freedom to your fantasy and you will get the best result in art, believe me, with mistakes. Of course with mistakes, but we all learn from mistakes. So here is the result of But for now we are going to continue with the road. So now I am giving more shadows to the land and then I draw grass. For drawing grass I am using the same technique as I used for trees. And for four, of course. I also draw some grass between the trees. Of course, because that's the forest. Where the sun rays are falling, I will draw grass lighter. And where is the shadow, I will draw grass darker. Yes, because of the shadow. For drawing grass, don't use only brown, orange. You may also add some green. You may also add some purple. As less paint remains on the brush, as lighter it becomes, so we will apply lighter colors on the light part of the picture, where the sun rays are falling. So now I am filling the road with the grass, and I continue with it. I'm using the same technique, nothing changed, only colors, some were darker, some were lighter. Don't forget about the shadow behind the girl. The grass there also seems darker because of her shadow. I decided to draw some fallen leaves on the grass. I used the same technique as I used for trees, for drawing leaves. And now I am adding a little bit of green to give more natural effect to the grass. This epic fail I saw only when I start to do video editing. I am very sorry about that. Oh well, anyway, I hope you will understand what I am doing here. I do the same thing as we have done in the beginning with the whole picture. I will draw my girl with the light colors and smoothly go to the darker colors. I have started with the coat. I hope you understand this technique isn't difficult and the only thing we need is practice. So now from another angle you will see the whole process of drawing the girl. Now I color her legs and then I will color her hair. applying shadows where it's necessary. I decided to draw black shoes for the girl. I think it will look suitable for her coat. I drew her hair in the same technique as I did with grass and shadow on the trees. I am adding some little details and drawing a little bit of grass near her legs. And here is the final result of our art. I hope you like to draw with me, and now I want to tell you a short story that I have written to this art. Once upon a time, a young woman was walking down the road. Time was slowly flowing away. She passed the fog and came across with the golden gates. She saw the designator and the scripts on it were saying, "Welcome to your fate." The girl entered and she was surprised. She came to an enchanted forest. She made a step towards the unknown and went into the depths of the magical golden forest. The golden leaves of the woods were shining on her path. Where would she come? Time will show.